Hey guys, it's your girl Basia and welcome to Ask Basia. Today I'm joined by two phenomenal Caribbean American women. Yes, we created this platform to highlight, uplift, inspire, and protect women and women of color in particular. We've been seeing a lot in the media right now with I call her Queen Meghan Markle, and the fallout with the British monarchy. And it's I have to be honest with you. This platform was not due for 2 more weeks, but I just couldn't take it. I couldn't take the silence anymore. I've been here talking to my girls, and I said, you know what? Why wait? Let's not put off tomorrow. Let's talk about the manner in which a woman are being vilified and treated right now. You feel me? That's what's up. That's right. So I'm going to invite Dr. Ayana Eastman, Professor of Communication, as and my girl, Howard alumni, Leslie Ann Bailey is in the building, occupational therapist, if you please. Bad woman out here, killing it. Welcome, ladies. I love you all.
Hi,
I can't
Basha.
help it. Hi.
Yes, yes,
Thank you
yes.
for doing this last minute invitation. But let me tell you something. When your girls got you, your girls got you. We have to talk about this Meghan Markle scenario, ladies. Welcome to Ask Basha.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy to
Yes.
be here.
Might I add that these phenomenal women also grew up in the Caribbean. And then they all, I know so many women like you all, but not many. So many being a small subset. So, Professor, pardon my English, but I really wanted to just, kind of mention to our viewers how you all grew up in the Caribbean, yet you came to America and you're doing big things, killing it, taking care of business. Your careers are phenomenal, and I'm very inspired and very proud of you both. I wanted to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I
How
appreciate
about
that.
that? Y'all just be,
Yes,
they're
yes,
just
yes.
being kind of like humble and thing. But listen, you guys inspire me every day. But let's talk about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Guys, I am tired of seeing this woman's reputation suffer at the hands of the British tabloids and everything else. I wanted to talk about Meghan specifically. And Les, I'm going to ask you first. I'm going to, I want your thoughts on the matter.
Sure.
Meghan Markle recently recounted her experience at the hand of the firm, as she calls them. I thought that name was so appropriate.
It was.
Based on the movie at the firm on, and, I was looking at the comments on Twitter, etc. Appeared to be very polarized. Anyway.
Yes.
I would like to hear from you, knowing that you're not a royal watcher like I am.
No, I'm not.
You're not. What are your thoughts? I mean, with the snippets you saw, do
Yes.
you believe Meghan and what she had to say about the matter?
I absolutely believe Meghan. I feel like she's, she presented as a traumatized person. And that level of trauma is just very difficult to deal with. It seems like she really tried her best to address it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of pushback. Now, this is, what threw me off, honestly, was to hear that they took her identity. They took everything that she needed to prove who she was. And she had no choice but to go along with their program. Yeah. And their program crippled her. It's a shame, honestly. But what was enlightening as well is that she at least made attempts to take care of herself.
Yeah.
And then at the end, her husband proved to be just
the real prince.
Hey, he said, "I'm gonna take care of my family. I'm gonna deal with this."
That's a real man.
Hey, absolutely, 100%. And I love it. He didn't feel like he had to go along with their program. He's like, I'm going to take care of my family, and that's it. That's it. But yeah, I absolutely believe her.
He's the man.
Yes.
He's not only the prince, he's the man.
100%. 100%. I have a newfound respect for him. And that's the honest truth.
He's truly Diana's son.
He is absolutely Diana's son. And yes, honestly, we could have said, oh, we saw this coming, from what happened with Diana. But this is a different level now. It's an absolutely different level. And, I have a lot of respect for Meghan. And and my heart bleeds for what she went through.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. And it seems like from what I'm seeing right now in the media, she's paving the way to really help a lot of others. A lot of people who need help. I'm seeing it in the media now. She's,
Yeah.
since she sought the help for herself, right?
Yeah.
And now you're seeing, that people are putting it out there. If you're experiencing, any level of trauma, or if you're having these, ideations, if you're having these thoughts, please, we want to help you. And they're putting numbers out there. They're putting,
They're
information out there
starting a
to help people.
conversation. So I
Hey,
can't wait to hear what Ayana has to say about this.
Go ahead.
So Ayana, do
Mhm.
you believe Meghan? And what are your thoughts on the interview with Oprah Winfrey?
I believe her. I
Yeah.
think that, but they also say perceptions is reality. So those are her perceptions. That's one.
Mhm.
And I think they have to still like validate her perceptions, right?
Yeah.
And as Black women, of course, we can all relate to that whole idea of, her feelings and her emotions, and especially that issue with that question about the color of the baby. Hello.
So listen, you're speeding. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, she unpacked a lot, and I think that even us, we're just starting the conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
But you
yeah,
believe
so I
her.
guess I do. I
Yeah.
do.
I do
I
as
do.
well. I didn't want to say that up front to prejudice,
Yeah.
your minds, but I believe
Mhm.
her as well. But Ayana, I want to ask you to follow up since you raised the question about the color, the the issue regarding the color of the baby's skin. Listen, that was a mic drop moment for me. I I I I was lost for words, and I'm generally not lost for words. But to think that that was an issue said everything. And yet today we're still hearing about timing and they shouldn't have done this because this is there ever the right timing for a Black woman or a woman of color or a woman in general to express her pain? Let's talk about the color of the skin. The issue regarding that. I mean, my first question is that I want to know who said it, but what about you?
I don't want to know who said it because I'm sure it just mirrors what was said by many Brits. They have lots of issues with the fact that Harry bypassed all these other women to choose this quote unquote Black woman.
When you go
Of course,
black, you don't go back.
and of course, America is one of the societies where once you have an iota of color in you, you're Black.
Yeah.
Lots of other societies like our own acknowledge the mixture. And okay, sometimes they say the names are derogatory or whatever, but we do acknowledge there's a mixture. But here they don't.
There's no mixture
In the
here.
UK, no, there's no mixture.
Americans want you to choose. You're either black, well, they choose for you by the Constitution. You're
That's
black
it.
or white. Les,
Yes.
would you say that the British monarchy, based on the barrage of of accusations that were listed, and I don't know if they're accusations. I'm trying to be neutral. They issued a statement today. Let me retract. Moments, a few hours before we actually did this broadcast, they issued a brief statement about how sorry they are for what could have been interpreted as Meghan and Harry's perception, because they said that the recollection may vary. And, the same Brit stiff upper lip kind of thing. No apology for the racist allegations or for racism on a whole and so on. But who's expecting the monarchy to apologize for racism? They'll have to apologize to all of us.
Exactly.
But do they owe Meghan an apology before I move on?
Absolutely. Absolutely, they owe her an apology.
What do you think, Ayano? Sorry, Les.
No problem.
So them apologizing assume some sort of guilt and some
That's
sort
true.
of ownership of these allegations.
So
So
you're not in agreement with Les. You don't think that they should apologize? That's what I want to know.
I think, and I'm being diplomatic again, they're apologizing So, I mean, they know when they put that statement out, they're also saying something. They're saying, we don't owe an apology. Right? You should be grateful
Yes,
that you
yes.
even
Well,
got in
remember, you
this.
got in. Yes.
Right.
You got in, you know,
Yeah.
and how dare you?
Complain.
Right.
They have to protect themselves as well. I'm
Yeah.
really struggling with this monarchy and their relevance. It makes no sense to
Oh,
me.
you hit the nail on the
So,
head, Les.
these people need to
Why do we need this
continue
again?
to.
Why do we need this again?
I'm trying to understand. Makes no sense to me. But
Yeah.
I'm not a Brit, so I
Right.
can't see it from their eyes. But we are products of this colonialism, and we
Don't
saw what
remind
they've done,
us. Don't remind us.
right? And I have just never had respect for that entity, right? And I just don't understand, why are they still relevant in 2021?
Well, many are saying that Harry lit the torch to blow up the monarchy. I don't think he did it deliberately. I think Harry was being authentic along with his wife, and it
That's true.
continues to irritate me why the woman, and in this case the black woman, always
Right.
takes the hit when a man takes a decision
Right.
as a man to protect his
As a man.
family. It wasn't called Harry's it. It was
No.
called Meg's it.
Megxit.
Megxit.
Shame.
They
So they-
sure find a way to stick it to us. Go ahead, Anna.
So they have, from the get-go, put this intense pressure on Meghan from the get-go, right? And every problem that existed before, up until here to now, was her fault. It's her fault, right? And of course, her being black just makes it even worse, because they already had problems with her color.
Well,
So
we
just
know that because they
else
were
with it.
concerned about the baby's skin tone.
Right, so I mean, it's just, and sometimes I wonder, okay, so what if we were white here sitting down here talking? Would we have believed Meghan?
Well, I have white friends who believe Meghan, and let's not forget that Meghan is half white.
In our eyes.
They don't like in our eyes, but they don't like the other half of her. Let's call a spade a spade. I mean, let's as many have, because I looked at how polarized the comments were on Twitter as this interview was taking place, and I happen to know people who were fans of Princess Diana. And was so sympathetic to what she experienced at the hands of the gentleman I now call Charles only. And yeah, I'm not going to use PRNINC.
Excellent.
Come
Yes, now I
on.
understand yes, I understand where you're coming from.
No, you feel me? I am not doing that. I know who I am as a black woman, and I think that's the problem they had with Meghan, because she felt her worthiness.
Absolutely.
And they tried to break her, as they did with Princess Diana. So back to Princess Diana. So there are people who were sympathetic followers of Princess Di, but they're not sympathetic towards Meghan. Now they ask themselves why.
Yes. That's interesting.
I mean, we know why, but they need to ask themselves why.
But those are folks from an older, from another generation.
So they believe Diana, but they don't believe Meghan, right, Les?
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. As we're talking about this, I want to bring it back to our own Caribbean origins with colonialism. And I was asking a close friend of ours who grew up around us and went to school with me earlier today, do you remember growing up in the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago specifically, and hearing our peers, women who looked like us and women who were certainly black, just having conversations saying, I'm black, and sounding proud about it? Any of you have any recollection of that?
None at all.
No.
That concept of being black and proud, from me, I experienced that here.
Correct.
In the US, especially in Washington, D.C. That's where I experienced it.
You know where I experienced it? I don't know if Ayana had the same experience, because we both lived in Jamaica for a period of time, but I experienced it in Jamaica. That's why I always say, no way, no better than yard.
You always say that.
I always
Well,
say,
okay, so I experienced mine in Trinidad,
good for
right?
Oh,
you. Okay.
Through Jamaican music.
Uh,
So remember when
That's
those songs
right.
came out, like "Proud to Be Black"
That's
yes,
right.
and
That's
yes,
right.
Babylon Whoops and all
That's
those songs
right.
when they were
yes,
in, and then we'd be playing those songs, and my father's like, "What are you listening to?" Right?
yes,
But those songs were very empowering. I felt at
absolutely,
the
Yes.
time to me as a teenager, you
Correct.
know.
absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, I thought about that as
Mm,
I started thinking about it even last year because
mm,
after the Black Lives Matters movement and
mm,
everything that has been a part of this 12-month period of all of our lives, it
Yes.
just brought you back to things that you didn't really have the time to think about. And I just thought about our childhood and growing up, and you in school with girls, and I don't feel that we were ashamed to be black. It's just
No,
we didn't even know that concept. We just
no,
yeah. But the,
we
but the
just,
sad thing is, somebody
yeah,
said to me today, though. Let me just say this: the
okay.
sad thing is that we had a concept of what it is to be Douglas.
Well, yeah, but
Mm.
that was our main mixture though, because we had brown
It's
and brown.
I, I, Ayano, it's not a
Mm.
race, you see. So
Yeah,
I said to that person, it also spoke to the level of ignorance
yes,
around
Mm,
race that
mm,
we grew up surrounded by, you know,
mm,
right.
and it spoke to what colonialization did to us as a
Mm.
people. And
Mm-hmm.
and as I said, the British monarchy has to answer to a lot of things.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So it was
Yes.
so foolish of me and others
Mm,
who attended and covered the royal wedding
Mm.
mm.
to even think that this was a sign of a change.
Mm.
I they had me fooled for a minute.
Mm.
Mm.
They had me fooled for a minute. But I mean, I have to say that even though we didn't grow up as women
Mm-hmm.
thinking about saying out loud, I'm black and I'm proud,
Mhm.
um, I always felt worthy and beautiful with the color of my skin.
Yes.
Always, always, always. I never thought that this is something that should not have been done to me. I should have been lighter, or my hair should have been.
Mm.
And I think having witnessed what happened to Meghan, I think it's a
Mm.
lesson for many, particularly in countries like ours, where the colonial masters
Mm.
left with us the idea that if you were lighter and your hair was curlier or straighter, you were better.
Right.
Mhm.
However, they have just proven that they still see us all the same way.
Absolutely. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yeah, you're right. Megan is an example for many Black women.
A black woman don't get lighter than that.
Uh, That is the truth. She passes almost for one of them, and
Yeah,
yet,
yeah.
they
She's
they
not one of
they
them.
hone in on, yes, the difference, and
Mhm.
she's not accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah, not protected, not loved, not
So,
accepted. Yeah.
Mhm.
so I
Mm.
so I agree and disagree with some of the stuff he said.
Okay.
As far as so I agree with the colonial rule and what they did to us and how we perceive ourselves.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But then we also acknowledge color though. I think that we always talk about our society, Trinidad society, being a multicultural society.
We do.
Yeah.
And we know that racism existed or exists even within the races in Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But the way we live compared to the way the rest of the world lives, who have different cultures and
Mm-hmm.
who are fighting each other, that's
Mhm.
still different. And I think that's an important thing to note. I know for me growing up, I wouldn't necessarily say I wanted to be white, but I definitely did have some issues with my color. Actually, I don't want it to be fairer or
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
darker. So I felt
Really?
like my color was somewhere in between that was like no, like what color is that? Like really, like what. So for me, that was an issue, you know,
Hmm.
and Again, I mean, yes, on the one hand, we could point it back to the colonial masters, but then we within ourselves and on our parents internalize this. And that's why, we would not have heard our mothers express this love for self and love for color and love for your race, etc., etc.
Yeah, we didn't hear those expressions. You're right.
So, so I think it's twofold in that sense, So I agree with you, and yet not fully agree with you. So
Well, that's the beauty about being a Black intelligent woman. You can disagree respectfully and still not be aggressive.
Absolutely.
yeah. I disagree, blah blah blah.
Yeah. But on some level, I also felt growing up in Trinidad that I just, maybe I denied that there were differences between, myself and others around me. And I just kind of thought that we were all on the same page. We're equal, but I had these rose-colored glasses on and, and
you and I both.
said, yeah, it changed when I got here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my the scales dropped off my eyes and I started to see things very differently because, even, because Trinidad is not just, I know it's the dominant groups are the Blacks and the Indians, but, there were the quote unquote Trini whites that were,
Of course.
I just, just didn't see myself as any different from them.
Now know that they're not white.
Now we know that, hey, right.
According by certain, by certain standards. But yes. But isn't that
by
a
the
good
British
thing,
standards?
That's a great thing. That's a great thing that we did not. Yes, race was not a major issue for us growing up.
We had tribalism, though. Come on, we did. We still have tribalism.
We still have it, but guess what? We are accustomed seeing leaders who look like us,
correct,
leaders who sound like us. And when we look at the society here, every time you see a Black person who becomes a senator, Barack Obama, the entire world was praying for him when he became president. Like, really? This is supposed to be a First Nation, first world country.
We're still celebrating the first and the first.
Right.
We've had in first world countries.
In first world countries. We've had Trinidad and Tobago has had a female prime minister.
Yes.
Right?
So has Jamaica, Barbados, Dominica.
All these countries. Right? So
India.
India, right? Pakistan, right? Benazir Bhutto, right? So I mean, it's like, I think we have to embrace the fact that we came from these quote unquote third world, smaller countries. Our culture and what we knew about race and ethnicity, and as you mentioned, there's still tribalism, but still we had a concept of seeing persons in charge who look like us.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to remind you that, not to cut you, I'm sorry, but it only happened during our lifetime. Yeah? So if you were to sit with your grandmothers and even your parents, I remember one time saying to my father, I was tired working in the bank. I'm like, no, I don't like this bank work. And he shook his head and he looked at me and he said, wow. He said, when your mother and your aunts and they were growing up, they couldn't get a job in the bank. And now you are tired of the bank.
Look at that. It's a new day.
Because it was not a part of our reality. And I think hopefully the same will happen for our children.
Absolutely.
And their children. Because my son would not necessarily say that it's not a norm for America to have a Black president or a Black vice president, because in their era that happened. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
So we are making progress. You wanted to say, Les? Sorry.
Yeah, there's progress, but what's the price of progress? You end up after having
Meghan Markle indeed paid the price.
Yeah.
The fact that she almost committed suicide and so on again. They've villainized the woman, the woman of color in this particular situation, because they did it to another woman, Princess Diana, and we see what happened to her. But there's a price to pay. Are we making progress? Yes, but are we where we want to be? No.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that I felt it necessary to launch this platform for women, to progress the agenda of women, to shine a light on women from various backgrounds, various countries who are excelling in their field, in the United States, in the UK. Our women of color, be that brown woman, Black woman, just women of color, We are killing it. We are bosses. We are mothers. We are professionals. We are professors, businesswomen,
Yes.
occupational therapists, speech
Yes. Yes.
therapists.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
doing the thing, doctors,
Yes.
lawyers.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't say to each other enough, girl, you rock. Girl,
Yeah.
you are enough. Girl, I'm so proud of you. And I do my best in my particular position to
Hmm.
make sure the women that I'm surrounded by know how much they lift me up, how much
Yes.
they elevate my game, and how proud I am
Mhm.
of them. And I am so proud of you ladies.
Thank
Yeah, we're
you.
proud of
Thank
you
you.
too.
Absolutely proud of you.
Well,
You know,
I
we
do
could,
my best.
hey now, but we can't do without each other. You know, we have to, we
No.
also
Yes,
need to mentor those that come behind us
So
and
we
just
just want to
right.
never stop.
encourage. We want to
Yes.
encourage all women,
Yeah.
particularly women of color.
Hmm.
Listen,
Yes.
you seeing us on this platform, don't criticize what we're wearing. Don't think about what in our teeth. Think about us creating a platform for all of us. Think about
Yeah.
how we
Absolutely.
just want to elevate our game. It's all about Black excellence. We
Yes.
just want to make sure that we encourage women of all colors, particularly in our community, to pursue their excellence. You know, I know that it's hard for Meghan right now, but Meghan, if you're listening, or somebody else in that position, speaking seriously, they didn't make you, so they cannot break you.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
Black and I'm proud.
That's
Ladies,
right.
you feel me? Fix your
Feeling you.
Right.
crown. Fix your
100%.
crown.
Right. That's
Lift your
right.
head
Yes.
up.
Yes.
Walk with your
That's
Yes.
head
right.
high. Fix your
That's right.
crown. That's right. I love you, Queens. This was amazing. I can't wait to have you back on the show again. And guys, you can follow Ayana. What's your Instagram?
Successful mom.
Successful Mom Instagram. And don't bother to follow Les because she does not like
I'm a terrible
Instagram.
social media person.
But don't forget to follow yours truly. Subscribe to Basia blog. There'll be lots more podcasts with exciting women. Follow me on Instagram, everything, Twitter, everything at Basia Powell. I love you guys. This was amazing. I don't want to wrap up, but I gotta go because I'm a successful mom. I have to go prepare dinner.
Excellent.
Bye, ladies. See
Bye. Take
ya.
care. See
Bye.
you.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.